But must be right. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Bombshell, earthquake, tsunami. That is how the U.S. political world is describing a staggering poll that came out over the weekend in Iowa, a red state. The survey for the Des Moines Register by respected pollster Ann Seltzer prompted this headline. Iowa poll, Kamala Harris leapfrogs Donald Trump to take lead near Election Day. Here's how. A new Des Moines Register Mediacom Iowa poll shows Vice President Harris leading former President Trump 47 to 44% among likely voters just days before a high-stakes election that appears deadlocked in key battleground states. The results follow September Iowa poll that showed Trump with a 4-point lead over Harris, and a June Iowa poll showing him with an 18-point lead over Democrat President Joe Biden, who was a presumptive Democratic nominee at the time.
Right there, Trump wins the 6 electoral votes of Iowa, and so we can see the breakdown there with about half the vote counted there. So there was this thought that perhaps because of his restrictive abortion ban that just went into effect in July, and this highly respected pollster coming out, that perhaps there was going to be a wave of independent women who could somehow turn this red state blue, but this was not to be, Chuck.
No, I mean, look, this is a miss because this looks exactly the way I will be.
A little 11th hour shenanigans to try to swing the vote or persuade people, hey, listen, you want to be on the winning team? That's going to be Harris. In Iowa? Really? Let's get busy. Remember, don't like, share, or subscribe. What are you trying to do? Blow up the channel or something? I got enough on my plate.
We're going to win. Okay, this is not the country I live in. This is just, I refuse to believe that. We're going to win because this is not who we are. There are other reasons. You pointed out brilliantly. The surrogate game, we're 98-2 up. We have every kind of surrogate you can think of. Entertainment surrogates, cultural surrogates, political surrogates, athletic surrogates. Our cup runneth over, and they help coming down the stretch because you can deploy them in many different places, and they can, like Beyonce did.
Last month, you wrote Trump is toast. We're almost 48 hours out from perhaps seeing our first results, but do you stand behind that today?
Oh, even more so. I just keep wondering the gift that the Trump campaign keeps giving us. I don't think they realize, I don't think they really are in touch with where the majority of Americans are at.
My God, the arrogance. They're going to win. Oh, they're going to win. James Carville's singing a different tune today, like as if he doesn't remember that he said, we're going to win. This is not who we are. Then you don't know who we are. People generally look at the map. The map, the counties that voted Trump in the country is dramatic. It's a red country with blue cities. That's who we are. That's where we live. That's where we're at. There's no bad idea in being progressive and that we want to try to get better as a society. We did it once upon a time. That was what Make America Great Again was, which was we had bold ideas in order to make things better. End slavery. Let women vote. Let's go to the moon. Let's invent a cell phone. Let's create technology that will change the world, like Google search engines. That's what we did. Those are the things we used to dream about, right? When we built faster planes and better ships and better technology to make life better. We were aspiring to do great things. We want to dream big again and progress without being ridiculous. A man, a woman, man shouldn't be in a woman's space. You want to pretend to be a woman? All right. You're over 18 years old. You do what you want. But society doesn't shun those people like, we should be hanging them from the top of a building or throw them off the building for that matter, like they would probably do in Afghanistan or Palestine or one of those other places. It's ridiculous. But people tend to have conservative viewpoints and values, generally, right? They believe in family. They believe in working hard. They want a fair shot at success. They want people to have upward mobility and not be cheated or have people at the top suppressing people at the bottom. Those are good thoughts and ideas. Most people have these thoughts and ideas. But the left wants to try to package it up into that The top people at the top are cheating. Who are these people that they're cheating? They're trying to keep everybody else down. Where? Where's the evidence for that? Identity politics. People are sick of it. They're sick of saying, okay, you're not qualified. We're going to move you to the top of the line or even move you in because equality or whatever. Inclusiveness. I saw all that DI firsthand when I was hiring for a major public utility. You can't just bring in people that aren't qualified and have them do dangerous jobs. So people get hurt. That's how they kill themselves. That's how they kill others. Why do you think there's a standard for everything? Why do you think you have to drag a 200-pound dummy across 100 feet to get into the FDNY? There are standards. Work harder to get up to those standards. But these people, like Michael Moore, who's listening to him? Okay? James Carville, granted. He's a dinosaur now. He's dated. He's aged. He's mad. He's angry. Talking about putting boots on the top, on the back of people's necks. That's what they were saying. But they're the party of what? Inclusivity and being passive. And, when they go low, we go high. Remember that? Where does boot on neck fit into when they go low, we go high? James? Let's continue on with the arrogance.
Rat.
Alan Lichtman is often referred to as the Nostradamus of presidential elections, successfully predicting the last 9 of 10 presidents. Unlike other models, Lichtman makes predictions off of historical trends and doesn't deal in percentages. He predicted a win for Harris. Lichtman said that was based on what he described as a strong economy and the absence of a strong third-party candidate that he said would factor in the Democrats' favor.
That's why my prediction system, with a 40-plus year track record, predicts that Kamala Harris will be a new path-breaking president, the first woman president, and the first president of mixed African and Asian descent.
But on election night, during a live stream of results, Lichtman's tune changed, casting doubt on his own prediction.
He's now up 4 points. I don't get it. Why they think Trump's going to win Pennsylvania.
I'm not worried about Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania's looking good for Harris.
I do too. But I'm saying the New York Times gives a slight edge to Trump, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, I wouldn't read into that too much. Trump is winning 51% of the Hispanic vote in Pennsylvania.
What?
That's what CNN is showing right now.
Was that possible? The world is turned upside down. That's all I can say. Is that better?
Good God Almighty. You want to talk about a narcissist? Cenk Uygur was just on, I think, The Hill or with Piers Morgan, as a matter of fact. And Alan Lichtman was on that. And Cenk Uygur, I'm not a fan. But listen, facts are facts. And when people are talking logic, I go with the argument and I dismiss who the person is. Attacked Alan Lichtman like, you were wrong. I don't know if the guy's stupid, but he was just wrong. And he was just so egomaniacal. Like it wasn't his keys that were wrong. It was that the people were wrong. And then when Cenk Uygur called them out on it, he said, it's blasphemy that Cenk was calling out these keys. Blasphemy. It's textbook narcissism. They just say, I got it wrong. I did not account for a lot of personal human factors. Or maybe I was just in my head. I don't like Trump. I don't want to see him win. I skewed all of my findings to having Harris win. It was, all the betting markets had Trump winning 66-34. My God. But the hubris, man. The hubris of some of these people.
Up to the eve of the election, there was one pollster creating all the buzz. Ann Seltzer, who boldly predicted deep red Iowa would go to Kamala Harris, saying Harris would beat Trump by 3 points. On election night, Trump carried the state with about a 13% margin.
Digging into the data, we determined that it wasn't people switching positions. It was new people perhaps a bigger pool of people deciding to vote. And at that time, our definition of a likely voter was somebody who tells us they will definitely vote. And the numbers were especially notable among older people, among women, and among college graduates. These are all groups that are tilting toward Harris. So it seemed like there was a get off the bench moment.
That poll the former president mocked on the campaign trail.
The polls are just as corrupt as some of the writers back there. They can make those polls sing. They can make them sing. They brag about it. I got a poll, I'm 10 points up in Iowa. One of my enemies just puts out a poll, I'm 3 down. A fake poll. Hey, think of it. Right before the election that I'm 3 points down. I'm not down in Iowa.
Seltzer told the Des Moines Register late Tuesday night, the poll findings we produced for the Des Moines Register and Mediacom did not match what the Iowa electorate ultimately decided in the voting booth today. I'll be reviewing data from multiple sources with hopes of learning why that happened, and I welcome what that process might teach me.
And I welcome what that process would teach me. Give me a break. Are you kidding? She was trying to put her thumb on the scale at the 11th hour because they knew that it was going to be ugly. She must have known it was going to be ugly. Trump was always in double-digit leads, no matter what the poll was in Iowa. Why she did that, I don't know. Was it to try to drum up like what they did, took the oxygen out of the room for maybe 24 to 48 hours? People saying, you know what, I'm just gonna vote Trump. Not vote Trump, vote Harris. Why? And now she's like retired from doing any kind of polling. I think she might have even left the Des Moines Register. But what don't you know about the electorate? What haven't you been seeing? People, real people in society, if you talk to them, and I talk to a great cross-section of society in the fitness industry, because I got many, many multimillionaires and wealthy people right at my fingertips. I have a lot of people that are trying to sell cars or financial products or in academia. I have a full circumspect of opinions here. And I talk to everybody. And I try to always keep it light and healthy because we should be able to agree or disagree without it getting ugly. And trying to understand the other person's perspectives. Because nobody has a monopoly on good ideas. I've been saying it for years. Nobody has a monopoly on good ideas. Okay? It just so happens a lot of those great ideas do exist on the right, but this is just merely a coincidence, I say to you. But we need to try to all sit at the table and try to come up with the best solutions that help the most amount of people. And flush out the emotive conditions that stop us from making good, logical, rational, reasonable decisions that help to push us all forward, better our society, limit the amount of exposure and risk to bad things happening to local people, large swatches of people in cities, states, and the entirety of the country. Lest we put ourselves on the path to destruction like all of the great societies that have come before us in all of Europe. And this experiment falls flat on its face. And maybe the dinosaurs come again for another 250 million years. Fingers crossed. I'm the optimist. Plan for the worst. Hope for the best.